Hellraisers. Welcome back to another video. And today's video is going to be titled, as you can see by the thumbnail, and today's title of the video is titled My Top 10 PG-13 Horror Movies. Now, when it comes down to PG-13 horror movies, some are bad, some are good. And the one that is good is usually the one that people will always go back to see. The one that is bad will make the good PG-13 movie look bad. So today I decided to put together a top 5 movie that is PG-13, and I'm also going to share Rotten Tomato rating as well. So with all that being said, let's get into today's video. We have a movie called The Ring. This movie tells a story about the tape that is being passed around from person to person. If they watch the tape, they die in 7 days. Well, this woman ended up coming in contact with this tape, and her son ended up watching this tape. When her son watched this tape, she has to do everything in her power to save her son. No matter what she does, he's still going to die, or isn't he? This movie is PG-13, and this is a damn good movie. The acting is good, the story is great, the way they seem to build up the suspense, the kills are majorly awesome. And this movie was made in 2002, and honestly, I think this movie is ahead of its time. And the stuff that they choose to show you in this movie is so interesting, because right from the get-go, as soon as this movie come on, at least for me, you're like fully invested in what's going on. You're trying to see how is this bad boy going to unfold. And what makes this movie effective is the stuff that you do see and the ride that this movie takes you on. The Ring is rated a 57% on Rotten Tomatoes. If you follow my channel for quite some time, you already know that I hate Rotten Tomatoes. And that score for this movie is not even close. That's like, no. That 57%, it bugged the shit out of me is what I'm trying to say. Number 4, we have a movie called Devil. This movie tells a story about 5 to 6 strangers stuck on the elevator, and one of them is the devil. They have to find out who is the devil and what does he or she want. But what makes this movie so interesting is that the stuff that they choose not to show you. And every time something bad happens, the light goes off on the elevator, and it's up to your imagination and it's up to your ears to hear and your brain to kind of like create what's going on. As soon as the light comes back on, somebody is actually dead. And they don't just die in just some random way. It is gruesome. It is like so off-putting. Stuff that they choose to show you on the screen is probably some of the best PG-13 on-screen death I've ever seen. Devil is rated a 49% on Rotten Tomatoes. That is not even, no. This movie deserves so much more, because this movie is effective for the stuff that they show you, and this movie does a great job at keeping you on the edge of your seat and allowing your imagination to create. That's exactly what Devil is. Number 3, we have a movie called 47 Meters Down. This movie tells a story about 2 sisters look to have this nice little getaway, and basically they end up inside this shark tank, and all of a sudden the shark tank disconnect from the chain and they sink all the way to the bottom of the sea. Inside that water, inside that sea, there are some man-eating sharks that's looking to rip them apart. They have to go about trying to survive and trying to wish to keep themselves alive with a little bit of air left inside their water tank. And what seemed to happen throughout the entire runtime of this movie, seeing these girls suffer through this trauma and seeing these girls go through literally hell trying to survive, for a PG-13 movie, this movie is awesome. You will watch this movie and you will want these girls to survive. This movie is rated a 53% on Rotten Tomatoes. Like I said before, all the other movies, this movie don't deserve that percentage. I think it should be a little bit more higher because how effective this movie is. Number two, we have a movie called Lights Out. This movie tells a story about this entity that is trapped in the dark, and every time you turn off the light, you will see her. You turn the light back on, she disappears. And for a PG-13 movie, this is probably one of the best PG-13 movies I've seen in a long ass time. And honestly, I've seen so many PG-13 horror movies, but this one, like I said, is probably one of the best. This was also on like a YouTube short story as well, and they turned it into like a 1 hour and 30-minute movie. It's still good. I still enjoy it. I've seen many movies that kind of share this same little plot. But this movie is rated a 75% on Rotten Tomatoes. I really do appreciate that. However, this movie is effective for the stuff that it shows you. And I feel like this is the kind of movie that everybody should definitely watch. Number one is a movie called Insidious, directed by one of my favorite directors, James Wan. However, this movie tells a story about this family that moved into this new home, and all of a sudden, the mother starts to sense that the new house is haunted. Her son ends up slipping into the coma, and so they have to take care of her son. She convinced her husband that she wants to move because she believes that the house is haunted. Well, they end up moving, and all of a sudden, they come to find out that the house is not haunted. The son is the one that is haunted, but he is in a coma. He is stuck on the other side. And basically, they have to go out throughout this entire runtime of their son being stuck in a coma on the other side. They have to find a way to save him. The thing about this movie is that this movie, it takes you on the ride that you really have to keep a close eye on, because if you take your eye off, you might miss something. There's like so many things hidden in the shadow behind people. There's stuff like up on the wall. There's like so many creative shots with the camera that James Wan does such a fantastic job. And the stuff, like I said, the stuff they show you is highly effective for PG-13 movies, excuse me. And this movie is rated a 39% on Rotten Tomatoes. Really? Are you fucking kidding me? This movie deserves way much more than that. I feel like people need to talk about this movie. This movie is so underrated, in my own opinion. This is part one. Make sure you stay tuned for part two, which will be coming next Saturday. Get in touch with me. All my links to my social media will be linked in the description down below. If you are new around here, my name is Tevin Johnson, and I love horror movies. You want to be part of my Hellraiser, all you have to do is drop a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on that bell notification so that way when I drop another lit video, you'll be the first one to get it. So as I say in all my other videos, make sure you keep a beautiful smile in your face, stay positive, and I'll catch you here in the next video. Peace.